I don't know what. As we see all three of the boys, as we see Zuko. Welcome back, part 9. What if Deku was a reality hacker? Part 8 probably just dropped a little bit later. And again, I apologize for the audio on part 2. I can't re-upload it because of specific reasons, and I deleted the file for it. So, we shall never know what befell of Deku in part 2. Deku in a Nothing! As we see a figure sitting on a table. Deku would go near it, go near a cage to see a person sitting in a throne, like a thing, with metallic-like wings, similar to his Red X costume, with claws like metal, with a tip. As this Red X figure would jump down from his throne, saying, "It's a boat." It's about time you arrived, boy. To Cage, face to face with Izuku. Izuku said, "Who are you?" "Who am I? What are you even saying?" "I'm you, of course. You're not me. Me! No need to get so hostile, Izuku Midoriya." "Who are you?" I'm you. Or, be more specific, I'm I'm your powers. I'm Calamity. You can just call me X if you want. Show me your appearance. If as you command. And all of a sudden, the figure would begin to morph. As his fingers would grow into talon-like metal claws. His fingers would grow into basic talons, but still finger size. As wings would sprout from his back with metal feathers sharper than diamond. As a tail would form. As a tail would come out of him with a scorpion-like texture. As two horns would protrude from the mask. As on every surface of the body, the chest, a skull, the handles, a skull, the cape, a skull. "Would you like to play a game of chess, my lord?" As Deku would sit there, he would say, "No. I know, I can just tell by looking at you that you cannot be trusted. You are a wise boy, indeed. But you will need my power one day." As the figure would shrink back into its red X-like form. But the mask is all black, with only one singular red slit of pupils. A red skull would be on its chest. All of a sudden, Deku's Truth Calamity Orbs would teleport behind the figure, circling. These Calamity Orbs was a smart idea on your half, as your body cannot handle my true power as you are now. But I like how you did by putting ounces of your energy in each orb, splitting up your power equally among the group. But you don't have a weapon. Johnny has a weapon, his chain and his shotgun. Kratos has a weapon, his chaos blades, and his sword. That's 3 weapons, plus his axe. You have no weapons, and your katanas, they're useless. They've practically been shattered. As the same Calamity Stone Hephaestus was had forged for him would appear in front of Izuku. This was intended for you to help control my powers even more. So use it. Why are you helping me? I just want to prep you for when I can truly take over your body. Good luck, try. As Izuku would wake up later in a bed, shirtless, with his stone next to him, he would look and say, "So it was not a dream." As he would pick up the stone and examine it, as it would flash a bright red in his eye. And all of a sudden, his red X suit would be on him, but he would be like, "How? But my suit's practically on the other side of the world." Realizing that looking at the top of his hands, revealing skulls, looking at his chest, but instead of the X that he has, it would be the same as his as the red X figure inside of him, as the X figure inside of him, or a red skull. Deku would look up to see his mask turned black. As he would look at his his arm blades, and he would punch, revealing that they turned into swords. He would clench his fists, them both turning into shields that he can throw. Where's the man? But it disappeared before he would look down to find it inside his suit, or more well, inside of him, who had embedded itself inside of his body, or more specifically his suit. So I guess this was formed from my suit, as he would summon one of his calamity orbs, summoning all 10 of them, wrapping 5 around his arms like bracelets. But then we skip to Kratos, as he approaches a gigantic cage, much bigger than Izuku's. Kratos would sit there, armorless, as he would look at the cage to see a gigantic figure coming down, a gigantified version of his sword, slamming on the ground as he would open the cage. wearing his armor. The speaker would say, "I am Ares!" The figure would scream before shrinking down into a smaller form. Deku's Calamity, Johnny's Calamity, and Kratos' Calamity. Kratos coming out with this look even. Johnny coming out with the same exact look, with the same clothes he has when he goes his vocals. Now you need to learn how to control your powers. So listen, meditating and physically building up your strength. You know how May and Momo made these super soldier serums for you to help enhance your strength? Well, I've them from your DNA and I've made them stronger using gamma radiation 19, the most fluent version of gamma radiation. Plus, by combining the DNA of animals like a gorilla, a titan, King Kong, and multiple other super strong species. That will just add on to your durability and incredible power. As Deku would sit there. All we have to do is meditate, but where do we meditate? Up there, pointing to the sky. You want us to go in space? Nope. Just as high as you can go. Deku would instantly set off, flying in the air. Sending his truth-seeking orbs ahead of him to send him so he can teleport. Then using his truth-seeking orbs to make a structure below him for him to stand on. Black would teleport up there and be like, "So you're gonna train up here from now on?" Basically, I'm gonna use the truth-seeking orbs to make little clones to fight and spar with. As he would see Kratos teleport on the thing, holding a staff and his sword on his back, along with his chaos blades and an X with his axe onto his side. Wow, cool staff, Kratos. I know. I got it from my Calamity. This is going to help me control my powers so much more. Now I don't have such a lame powers and armor set up armor. Now I actually look like my primordial spirit is Ares. What's yours? This is X. Johnny? Zarathos. Johnny would come up riding his motorcycle. Where are you going to train, Johnny? Black would say, "I have a perfect place for you to train, boy." As he would look at Johnny, him and Johnny would go to a gate in the temple with an emblem that resembles the gates, the circles of hell. You'll be training in here, pushing open the doors, revealing a dimension that resembles hell itself, with demons and everything. This is also for you to train your domain expansion, as eventually you'll be able to create your own version of hell where you're the king. With your own demons and everything. Bet, he would say. Then Kratos would walk in, his staff doing somewhat of a truth-seeking orb thing, and reside spinning into a staff, into like a baton. As any time he wants, he could just put out his arm and the staff would magically appear. Kratos, you come with me. Going to a door that has the symbol of Omega on it. You will train in here. This has 39 times Earth's gravity. With 3 white holes constantly pushing you down. And hundreds of billions of soldiers that I hand created for you to fight. Train yourself. Alright, he would say, looking up, now having the Omega symbol in his eyes. Deku would still be thinking about what he could do about his weapon, as Johnny has his shotgun, Kratos has his staff and sword and his blades and his axe. 5 weapons. Deku only has his oars, which are good weapons, but in a real battle, they're useful. They're utility, but they're not weapons that I can use. This is Deku's new weapon. As you can tell, he can infuse energy into it to make it even stronger. At the same time, it's a conduit for him to siphon his powers in. He calls it the Calamity X Sword, the Calamity Blade. Deku would begin training. This training arc will be around basically a year long, as they're going to be gone for a year. 1 whole year would pass as the figure would finally arrive near Earth, to Earth. We go to see a little bit older Izuku. A 17-year-old Izuku. One year later, blah blah blah, older Izuku. Now we see the dark god of destruction flying in front, lowering himself up. Damn, I gotta get a name. This is his angel. Just didn't fall out. The dark god of destruction. Nimamuosuke. Or, it's his English name translates to Zathulu Nafras. He would ascend down on Earth over Tokyo, so he would blast, killing 10,000 people. As he would begin his reign of terror, destroying small cities, moving up to major ones before finally where he heard the 3 calamities were. Now then, Raphael, my lord. Raphael, save his name. Where are the calamities? They aren't in the cities. But they are coming. But there should be some mortals here who can entertain us. Alright then. Before charging up, blasting at Tokyo. Oh, he would hear out, getting attacked by a man, getting sent flying to the ground in the destroyed street as he all might fall down. Before a team of teenagers would fall down as the year went past. Have near basically have their hero license and everything. The destroyer would sit there, next, well, not even affected by the smash. This is this planet's greatest war. I'm honestly baffled and pathetic. My champion is coming. As All Might would sit there, I can stall long enough to beat you. As All Might would run, punching the destroyer, as he would not affect him, as this was a god he was doing. Not any ordinary god. A dark god. As the dark god would look up grinning menacingly. Don't even start crying. The destroyer would sit there triumphantly, knowing that he could easily kill this mortal man with his bare fingernails. He lets the mortal reason as All Might would pull back and say, United States of Smash! Punching the destroyer. That was your last attempt. I am offended for smacking All Might away to a building. Now die, human, putting out his hand. Before hearing Riot Slap! Before getting hit in the face by a hammer. Getting thrown into the air. Are the calamities here? No, Raphael would say. The calamities are not here yet, but they are on their way. He would flash his power for a second. Sensing that one Kirish, sensing the same power he sensed from that blonde mortal. Could this be that mortal's champion he spoke? One for all, 210%! Okay. Charging up, completely charging, teleporting at the figure. Punching him in the air, as he would use his thrust to propel and kick him harder, using his hammer like Thor, smacking into the figure. Would grab his hammer and Hakai it, destroying it. Hiroshima would get pissed, making brass knuckles, punching the figure even more, actually making him feel, sort of. Kiroshima's hand and throwing him to the ground before blasting him. Hiroshima teleporting out of the way using float and combining Black Whip with Smoke Screen. He would chain the destroyer down, or Zathulu, and use one of pseudo 1000%, rocketing at him, punching him with a Detroit plus Delaware smash, launching him into orbit before flying up there himself, activating spacesuit mode. Punch him and the figure would be clashing in air. Dobby would fly up to assist his captain, his commander, spin kicking him. Blasting him with blasters made built into his suit, his hand, that blast fire made out of plasma at his opponents. Enough! Blasting them away. while they float midair, he would slam his hand down, thrash, whipping his hand down, throwing them in the atmosphere. Like they would just slam on buildings, making the buildings would fall over. But just before they crushed the two to death, they would hear, "I don't have to worry because I am here." All might for a red cloaked figure would teleport in front of them, holding up both of the buildings with both of his hands and throwing them at the figure. They would recognize the X on his mat on the back of his cloak. Izuku, the one and only. Pulling out his katana and summoning his truth-seeking orbs. Kratos, Johnny, let me take this horn. Alright, boss. Kratos and Johnny sitting on atop a building. We'll watch. Let us know when you want to switch. Bet. As Kratos would be seen with somewhat of a mustache forming. Just an older version of this one. Izuku would teleport in front of the destroyer. Finally, so you must be the hacker Calamity, the one and only. For sending an X at him, blasting him in the atmosphere, I'm throwing him midair, before going onto the surface of the moon and picking it up with his bare hand. And whoo, the moon's heavy, but slamming it on the figure, making a planet destroyer Calamity ball, smashing the two together, blowing them both up. As the figure would sit there unharmed, as Cthulhu would sit there unharmed, Deku would say, "Let's see if you're swordproof," as he would send 3 Calamity, gets Calamity Black slashed down. Let's see how you handle my orbs before making his orbs spinning around him very, very fast. Before pulling Ichigo and teleporting around him. I'm not even done yet. Izuku would sit there powering up for saying, "Now let's see how you like me," punching his hands together, making a small shockwave. As it would be revealed that his Calamity Stone fused with his eye. As he would sit there teleporting, summoning the mark, punching the figure across the face, making him spit, punching him in his gut, then slashing on him again, grabbing his stone, blasting him with an incomplete black hole. For summoning a Calamity Nova, slamming it on the figure, on Cthulhu. I can't defeat you like this, so then Super Deku it is! Ah! Super Calamity. As a Super Calamity, Deku would be standing there in midair. I unlocked this transformation while training for the use of 1 year. Nice. For blasting Izuku's head off. Izuku's body would fall forward, regenerating his skull in a creepy way. For covering his arm in scales. Teleporting on the figure, sending him back down to Earth at Mach speed 3. He teleported at Mach 6 in front of him, hitting him with a calamity black hole, blasting him to the edge of the solar system. I ain't done yet! His hair getting even longer. And this Izuku does have black hair, so he does have green to be considered his Super Saiyan God transformation, his Calamity God. And Super Calamity 2. As a skull would be forming on Izuku's chest. As he would summon his Trucy, his Calamity, or using them as his weapons again, finally utilizing them as weapons, making an axe. Making a staff similar to that of Kratos' staff of Ares. Blasting him with Calamity Lightning. Then letting that fly in midair, summoning a sword, slashing him. Throwing a thunderbolt at him, hitting him with the Calamity, a red note, a Calamity a Calamity bomb. Figure was standing there saying, pathetic. Izuku would charge up even further, his hair turning less red but more green this time. His hair growing even longer. This form actually starts to hurt my body, so I gotta make this quick! Punching the figure, hitting him with a 5-shot barrel railgun. A plasma thermonuclear railgun cannon. This is capable of destroying continents, he said. I'm capable of destroying universes, the figure would say. Izuku having somewhat of a red flame appearing on his body with greenish accents. That doesn't work, so I don't know what will. For passing out. I've come to fight the Calamity God. So far, you haven't proven worthy. Kratos would say, then you face me next. Oppressor. Before going into his Calamity state, looking at the figure with his eyes of war. His horns appearing on his skull, putting on his helmet. Summoning his staff and his sword and all his arsenal. For pointing his staff at him, sending his sword flying, clashing blades. For throwing his spear at him, harnessing the power of Ares, the god of war, whom he made a contract with. Domain expansion, domain of Ares. For a warlike ground would appear. For getting punched by enormous enemies, then slammed to the ground. Then a gigantified Kratos would appear, pulling his staff in the air, saying, Wrath of Ares, for sending down his sword, smashing into the figure. The figure would hold it up with one finger, shattering it along with the domain, blasting Kratos through the heart, now instantly knocking him back down to his regular Calamity form. So basically, he had technically already unlocked his Super Calamity form before Izuku did. But it was just not as powerful than Izuku, because Izuku had more control, and his is stronger than all. He was stronger than Kratos, because Kratos has more experience with the forms. Because he came up with the idea to stretch out his powers to multiple objects to help control it. Then Johnny would come up, pulling out an axe, wrapping a chain, going full power. Let's go. For punching the figure with the chain, whipping him, holding him down. Domain of hell. His own hell-like transformation, his own hell-like domain. One of his horns appearing with his crown. Wrath of Zerathos Matursala, blasting him. Before getting his skull grabbed by the figure, say, "I'm not done!" Before charging up. Going full super calamity mode. Not even him and Kratos unlocked it to the level of Izuku. Only being able to go to Super Calamity 2. For pulling down his dual axes, for slashing at the figure. Going all out with his purple lightning, turning a darker shade of purple. Before falling back down to earth with a gaping hole inside of his chest. As when they land, all their stones would come out. Both of their stones, Zuko would stand up saying, we can't keep this guy. Before hearing a voice in his head. Yes, you can. Hearing 3 voices. All 3 of the Calamity spirits. As Izuku would stand up triumphantly with his aura beaming through the sky. His hair blowing. His muscles fluctuating. As Izuku would stare up in anger. So get to the picture. A purple aura would surround his body, turned with a red hint and a blue hint to it. As he would look up with the Omega symbol on his head, a skull on his chest, and fire a demon horns on a demon skull on his hand. Finally, as Izuku would become covered in armor. And that's where I'm going to be leaving off What If Deku Was a Reality Hacker, Part 9. Or 10.